Yedi, I see me in Pelipa. The Cassans, why you see me did. It's only
Me did the young antechua, and maybe I'm discovered for Europe. I come a bush for Ghana. No, me used to tap send, tap send. No fee mobile money transfer. Eye easy, eye convenient, eye fast, and sounds so free. Won't you share? Me discover ye map him. Tap send. Intienne. Also download the Taptap Send app. No, ever mobile phone so free. Nefesi kakomu bush for Ghana for na. Tap send. Papa no.
My apologies, Fachemi. A very good evening and welcome to your Wednesday evening show, OT Have Talk. Today, you don't normally see my face on this show on Wednesdays, but I have to step in for our host, Lady Abina. Lady Abina, I think tube strike are affecting Kakra, so she's running late. But I'm going to step in with my co-host, Dr. Akos. So we will be bringing this show to you this evening. And we are very fortunate this evening to have a very wonderful guest to speak to us on menopause and nutrition. Menopause and nutrition. A very wonderful topic that anytime I had this topic, I always want to listen to it. Menopause. It's sometimes about hono menopause. As we know about tremano. So, without much ado, I would like to introduce to you our wonderful guest this evening who will be speaking to us. It's Yayra Awo. She is a nutritionist and a wellness coach, and she's a founder of I deal with the Mamboni ya Mami Facha me why and me fota. New Swan Foods. My apologies.
New Swan
Food. Dr. Ko, thank you for training me and son about the mother now.
Apologies, mate. Sorry.
So, yeah, very good evening and welcome to the show. Place you on mute. Good.
Thank you. I was trying to find the mute button.
Okay.
Yeah, it's New Swan.
New Swan.
So new and then Swan, like the duck on the river, Swan.
Oh, okay. Nice one. Wow. So, I mean, this is the first time we having you on this show. And before we move or zoom into the discussion, we would like to hear a little bit about yourself and what you are doing and what you want to tell us this evening.
Thank you. So, as you introduced me already, my name is Yayra Awo. By day, I'm a foster carer, and nutrition coaching is my passion. I've been qualified nutritionist for about 10 years now.
Okay.
So I've been on this journey for quite a while. But when it comes to menopause, I've been delving into it for the past 3 years because I am menopausal.
Okay.
So there's a lot of personal journeys that I could share if it becomes relevant along the way. But so I use nutrition to coach ladies to nourish and support their menopause journey, the menopause transition. And I do this within the community and privately. And churches, I do go to churches to educate our ladies as well. So I hope that explains who I am.
Okay. Yeah, it
If there
has.
are any questions, I'm happy to answer later on.
Very good. So, we are ready to hear from you. What do you have for us this evening
Okay.
on the topic?
So basically, for this evening session, I'm going to talk about how nutrition is relevant to menopause. But for the benefit of people who might not have a good understanding of menopause, I would quickly brush over what menopause is, the official definition, and what it means for us, and how it affects us in the diaspora as compared to our white counterparts, our white women, and how I'm glad Dr. Akos is on because she could maybe shed some light later on about how GPs and the health sector are supporting our ladies. So if you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen just so that
Yeah, you
people
can
can
go
see
ahead.
what I'm talking about. I hope it works. So if I zoom again and share. Right then. Right. Presenter content only. Okay.
Yeah, you have the right to share. So,
Okay. Because I'm getting workplace to share. Yeah. Oh, now I have to go to my system. Gosh. This is where
Zoom
it gets
keeps
me.
on changing their system.
Yeah. I'm on I thought I'd got this all worked out before, so let me I think it's Zoom. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's Zoom. They've changed their stuff.
Oh, he's asking me to leave the meeting. No, I'm not leaving. Let's try again. If it doesn't work, then can somebody help who is a techno? Because every time it gets me, and then it happens somehow. Am I sharing? Can anyone see my screen? Because it
No.
says oh yeah, good. Share. Can you
Yeah.
see?
Yes, you are
Yeah.
right.
It gets me all the time, then it works. So I still can't work out how it works. Let's move this along. Okay, sorry everybody. So I'm going to jump right into what is menopause. So as defined officially, it's the permanent cessation of menstruation confirmed after 12 consecutive months. So this is the WHO and clinical definition of menopause. So basically, when you're a woman, after a certain point in your life, you stop menstruating, and then you're diagnosed as being in menopause for after 12 months. Somebody always points out to me that you're only post-menopause for one day because the day after, then you are in menopause. I don't understand, but hey, oh. Now, what it means for us is that our ovaries stop releasing eggs and stop producing the levels of hormone our body was used to. So it's a hormonal transition. Estrogen and progesterone are the main hormones that causes that to happen. They decline. And then that then affects metabolism, sleep, mood, and digestion. Sorry, this came again. So in terms of the 3 stages of menopause, then it's perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause. I'm not going to read the blurb because I'm just doing like a quick, but if anybody wants me to shed light on something, please put your hand up. And what's my co-host's name again?
Prince or Nana Kwame.
Nana Kwame, please. I won't be able to see if somebody put their hands up to ask anything, or people can save the questions till later. So please, could you prompt me?
So you will finish your presentation and we go to Q&A session.
And then we go to Q&A. Okay, that's cool. So basically, we have 3 stages of menopause: perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. Like I said, there's a running joke within my circles that you're only postmenopause for 1 day. So then the thing refused to move. Let's try again. Okay. Doing quite well. Right. So the key hormones and why they matter. So for estrogen, is because it regulates the menstrual cycle. So when the level drops, then it triggers the symptoms of the hot flushes, the vaginal dryness, mood swings, mood changes, memory fog, which is called brain fog sometimes. Progesterone is what balances estrogen support. Estrogen, and it supports sleep and calm. So if you're a lady and you're not quite sure, and sometimes you're struggling to sleep, or you're not calm and you feel agitated and nervous and you can't quite understand, it might mean that you're in that zone. So it is worth checking out. So the progesterone declines first, and then perimenopause kicks in. Like I said, if you don't know, then get it checked. Then there's the 2 other hormones that we don't quite equate to menopause. Like, it's not widely out there, which are cortisol, which I call it the playground bully because it causes a lot of havoc. Cortisol, which is our stress hormone. With lower progesterone, cortisol spikes more easily. So you produce more cortisol with the least stress you find, and which causes a lot of the belly fats that we get during menopause. And then insulin sensitivity also becomes all over the place with the progesterone and estrogen dropping. And insulin is what controls blood sugar, and it also controls energy storage. So if your insulin is all over the place, you store more energy, which translates to fats, and especially around the belly area. So then, with all of that, connects to our gut. So all these things that I've mentioned about the key hormones, they all have functions in our gut. So the gut, which is our intestines, where our food is processed and metabolized, kind of are controlled by these hormones in a way. So if we want to resolve these hormones and support their pathways as they decline and increases, so estrogen and progesterone decreases, insulin and cortisol now are left wild, committing a lot of havoc. So if we want to resolve these things, we have to look after our gut, which is where the gut connection and our hidden hormones come in, the hidden hormones being insulin and cortisol. So the key concept is these hormones are processed and balanced in our gut. And the part of the gut that control these hormones is the estrogen, which is a collection of the gut bacteria specifically responsible for metabolism and processing estrogen. So when estrogen is declining, the gut bacteria that are responsible for processing it also leaves the body because there's no job for them. So we now have to support that pathway in our gut so that it supports our menopause and not commit too much havoc with our symptoms. Because the symptoms we will get, but depending on how well you look after your gut, your symptoms can be calmer or harsher. So in plain English, your gut doesn't just digest food, it helps regulate your hormones. So if your gut is struggling, it means your hormones are struggling too. So the key takeaway then is our hormones are not just controlled by ovaries, although the estrogen is predominantly produced in the ovaries. When they travel into our gut, that is where they actually do their job. So when the job is not being done, again, we have to eat right to support our guts to do that job, albeit minimally, but it helps a lot. So if your gut is struggling during menopause, it's not just about digestion. It's because there are pathways that you need to support. And the good news is that food is one of the most powerful tools we have. The food that we are most effective already are part of our culture, food that we've been eating since we were children. Our grandparents cooked it, our mothers cooked it, and we should continue, not abandon them because we're in the diaspora. So how hormonal declines affect the gut? Reduced progesterone slows gut mortality. Like I said earlier, when these hormones are not there, the bacteria that balances them and process them also leaves. So we have to eat to make sure that we still support that pathway. And estrogen supports the gut lining and microbial diversity. What that means is the microbial diversity is just the gut bacteria. So estrogen also supports the diversity. And if you watch any nutrition documentaries and a lot, they talk about our gut bacteria a lot. We are supposed to have about 3 million odd species living in our gut. So estrogen helps to balance them and to grow them and to make sure, the ecosystem runs, the gut bacteria ecosystem runs very well. So if we're not eating right and the ecosystem is not balanced, people tend to develop like leaky gut, which is where things leak through the lining of the gut into the bloodstream when they're not supposed to. So your absorption becomes a problem. So higher cortisol disrupts beneficial bacteria. So if you are in chronic stress and you produce a lot of cortisol, you find that when you eat, you get bloated a lot because the bacteria that are responsible for digestion and absorption and metabolizing your food are not there, and your guts become inflamed because what is supposed to happen. So think about it like an ecosystem where every species depend on another one to perform their duty. So if some of the species are not available, some species might not function properly, and that can lead to inflammation and all manner of things. So lower microbial diversity is linked to worsened hot flushes, mood disruption, and weight gain. Like I said before, if the pathway is not there and we don't support it and regrow the microbial diversity, we would have worsened symptoms in menopause. You might get away with it in your 20s, 30s and think that, oh, but I used to do this and used to do that, and I didn't have this problem. So what are you talking about, Yayra? What the news says, the hormone that helped you to get away with that are no more. So now you have to work to replace them, the pathways, and we'll get to what food we can eat to replace the estrogen pathway, the estrogen, to get it working for us again. So why food matters more now in menopause? Blood sugar become more sensitive, muscle mass naturally declines, and then the gut health affects hormonal balance. So we've said that already. Supporting our gut through menopause. So how do we support the gut to make sure that when the estrogen gut bacteria declines or have completely gone, that pathway is still functioning to support us through the menopause? So let's dive into it. The 5 pillars of gut support in menopause: fiber and prebiotic. I'm not going to say a lot about fiber because I'm pretty sure that everybody on here today has heard fiber mentioned once or twice, and we all know what fiber does. So the fiber feeds the gut bacteria and supports estrogen metabolism. Remember about the estrogen, so fiber plays a big role in maintaining that diversity. So what are some of the foods that we can eat to get fiber as Africans, not depending on Western diets? Because the Western diets, some of us can't do it long term. You know, we need our food, our palate, our staples that we're used to. So some of the foods are plantain, yam, cassava, black-eyed peas, lentils, okra, garden eggs, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of these foods, so I've just put a few here. Now, we mentioned plantain and yam. I know that in menopause, people say, oh, you can't eat carbs because if you eat carbs in menopause, you get fat, you get belly weight. So with the carbohydrate and starchy products, a good way of consuming them to support your menopause and your symptoms is through fermentation. So if you can find ways to ferment them and also limit how much you eat, limit the portion control. And it's best to eat them earlier in the day when you're active rather than eating them at night. But when it comes to the okra and garden eggs, those are okay to, enjoy as much as you can take, really. But the plantain, yam, cassava, the black-eyed peas, lentils, they're starch heavy, so we have to watch the portion control. Now, fermented and probiotic foods, again, probiotic, they say is good for the gut because it helps the gut bacteria. It introduces live bacteria to restore gut diversity. So if you remember the estrogen again, if you eat enough probiotic foods and fermented food, it reintroduce some bacteria into your gut to increase the diversity and to help. So what are some of our African probiotic foods? Fermented dawa is really good. Kenke, again, caution on the portion. And then the time of day that you eat it. Kenke is already fermented, so that's good. But we tend to eat a lot of it with little protein and fats. So we need to watch the portion. Kefir, fermented porridges like akamu or ghee, cocoa, and then natural yogurts. Those are really good for gut diversity, gut bacteria diversity. Phytoestrogen are plant compounds that greatly support estrogen balance. So if your estrogen is disappearing or reducing, when you eat these phytoestrogens, they mimic the behavior of estrogen in the gut. So when you eat these ones, you are actually supporting that particular pathways. So what are some of the phytoestrogens? They are cowpeas, chickpeas. They used to say, people, menopausal women should eat hummus, a lot. It's good. It will support that pathway. Groundnut, soy, edamame, flaxseed, and sesame seeds. So you can sprinkle a bit of flaxseed on your salad, sesame seeds. When you're eating that, know that you're supporting your estrogen. basically. It's as plain simple like that. Anti-inflammatory food reduces gut inflammation. That is worsened by cortisol. So in menopause, cortisol does its own things, but one way of controlling it is eating anti-inflammatory food. So what are some of these anti-inflammatory? Turmeric, ginger, moringa, leafy greens like kontomire, ugu, spinach, bitter leaf, all those leafy greens, they are anti-inflammatory. So I think in menopause, you make them your staple, really. They should appear on every plate of food that you eat, unless if you're in some kind of celebration. So oily fish like mackerel, sardine. I can't speak enough about sardine. If you can eat sardines every day, you'll find that your symptoms will be a lot calmer. And, you know, myself and a group of ladies that I coach will testify to that. We love sardines. So hydration and gut mortality supports healthy digestion as progesterone drops. So how can you hydrate and support your menopause and your estrogen and your gut? Hibiscus tea, sobolo. So you don't even have to brew the whole, or zobo, as some countries would say it. I'm not sure how many nationalities are on here. You don't even have to make the whole drink, the sobolo drink, and add all the spices and know how to do it. You can just buy hibiscus leaves from your corner shop and strain that into your tea and drink it. It's really good. It's a good way of hydrating. And if you can even make it ahead of time, it ferments. You can sprinkle a little bit of honey in it and leave it overnight, a few days. You get a good fermentation going on there, which will increase your microbial diversity. Water with lemon, herbal tea, soups, and broth. Those are really good to keep us hydrated in menopause, which is, we really need it. We can't avoid that. Now, I've heard a lot of people talk about Mediterranean diet. So when you talk about menopause in universal term, everybody go, oh, the Mediterranean diet is really good. Now, we're Africans and we're brought up eating kenke, banku, fufu, pounded yam, ugali, and all of that. And we love them. We love those foods. Those foods give us comfort. So we can't now abandon these foods and jump on Mediterranean diet wagon. Mediterranean diet is widely researched by the West, and they've seen that it supports menopause. So we also have our version or our equivalent of Mediterranean diet, which I find, I'm not being biased, but it's far, far better. So what are some of the foods that compared to Mediterranean foods? Palm oil. I know palm oil always gets a bad rap, but palm oil is not bad. The palm oil that we have back in Africa is produced with real palm fruits, not factory made, and it doesn't destroy any orangutans or anything. So we're safe, and it's food that our forefathers ate. They're ancient food. Coconut oil, they're really good, and they do support menopause symptoms. So they have vitamin E's, antioxidants. We have tomatoes. You can see the list, but what stands out most is the fermented food like the kenke that we love. So you might not be able to consume a whole ball or 2-3 balls of kenke like you used to in your 30s and still get flat tummy and no hot flashes and no mood swings, no brain fogs. But for now, you might just eat half kenke, one big tilapia or mackerel, and then a few vegetables. You'll be full, trust me, it works. Then we've got the mackerels, the sardines, the herrings for your omega-3s. Plantain, yam, cassava, we mentioned earlier. A big one is tiger nuts. And tiger nuts is actually good for sleep. So if you're struggling with sleep, something good to eat is tiger nuts. And they are phytoestrogens as well. You've got your flaxseed in there, your lignans. So yeah, we have a powerful version of the Mediterranean diet that everybody kind of rev about. So next time you hear somebody say Mediterranean, that's it, we have our own. Thank you. So what are the key points and the bottom line? We don't need to adopt another culture's diet to be healthy. We can eat our ancestral food, our staples. And then there's a UCL study that confirms that women of the African diaspora face significant education and support gap in menopause care. And in this gap, we've got the key. So let's not conclude that, oh, we're not supported. Our food is our support system. Our kitchen is our support hub. And we need to celebrate that and go back to those traditional food to support our symptoms. Now, one thing I want to talk about is supplementing, because this question comes up a lot. A good supplement in menopause is magnesium, and it's good for nighttime. So if you get the night sweats a lot and you struggle to sleep and you're anxious in the night, it might mean that you're lacking or low in magnesium. So it's a good supplement to go for. And then another one is the myo-inositol. I hope I've pronounced it right. That improves insulin sensitivity, it improves blood sugar balance, and it helps with cortisol and metabolism as well. We're not going to go through, I'm looking at the time. I'm not sure how long I've got left.
You can do 10 more. Then
10 more minutes, okay.
Yeah, then we use
so I've just listed a few protein sources, which I'm sure we all know.
I think they are enjoying it, so you can go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So if you're eating enough protein but still feel exhausted, it's often missing minerals such as magnesium and iron, like I said earlier. And then I've got a list of some healthy fats here for hormones. Hormones are actually made of fat. Fats used to be a no-go for a long time. Universally, they said, oh, eat fat-free. So you had a lot of fat-free foods that they actually substitute with carbohydrates to make it nice, because they've taken the fat out. Fat is back on the menu. We need fat in menopause, but healthy fat, because it supports our brain and mood. So that is why it's good to eat the carb foods earlier in the day where you're active, so that you can uptake them, the glucose, better into your cells. And then fat helps as well to keep blood sugar stable. So for instance, if you are somebody who likes porridge in the morning, that porridge might be just cocoa or ghee or cooker oats, rolled oats. That's a lot of carbohydrates. You have that, and then you put sugar in it, and you put condensed milk or evaporated milk. That's going to spike your blood sugar. But if you switch it up a bit and add some fat, which could come in the form of double cream or butter even, swirl some or a bit of coconut oil in that, and add some flaxseed and chia seeds that have fiber and phytoestrogen, and put some protein in. It could be pea protein or protein powder even. You've turned that bowl of porridge into a protein and hormone supporting bowl. So you're not only eating carb on carb, which will spike your blood sugar, and then after 90 minutes or even after 40 minutes, you're hungry again. I don't know if anybody remembers back in Ghana when you eat rice water, after like 30 minutes, then you want to eat again. That's because it spikes your blood sugar, because there's no protein, and you eat that with bread or buffalo or those things. There's no protein, there's no fat in there. So your blood sugar goes high up, it spikes, and then it drops, and then you slump, and then you want food again. What happens in your gut is that there's a lot of sugar eating bacteria then in your gut who are happy to have that sugar. And after they're done, they want more. So that's when you get too hungry soon after you eat these foods. But if you switch them up a bit and add these things in, the fat and protein then and the fiber will slow down the digestion and the sugar uptake, so you feel fuller for longer. So fat is good. It keeps you fuller for longer. And there you go. And then it reduces inflammation. What are some of the sources of fat that we can eat without, causing any problem for our guts or our body? Avocado, olive oil, coconut oil, nuts and seeds, like we mentioned earlier, the flaxseed, sesame seeds, pumpkin seeds, peanuts, oily fish, sardine. They're great. Now, when it comes to carbohydrates, I made mention earlier, carbohydrates is not off the menu, or you can't eat carbs when you're in menopause, but you have to be smart about your carbohydrates intake. So like I said earlier, reduce the portion is a must. Don't eat the portion that you eat when you were in your 20s and your 30s, because they will not help you. So you reduce the portion, or you swap the carbohydrates around for what I call smarter carbs, because then it will not spike your blood sugar when you eat them. I've got some on here. In our food, our culture, we have other ones like the aubergine, garden eggs. Those ones you can switch for that. Cabbages, broccoli. Broccoli is widely eaten in Africa now. So we can do those. And then refined carb, we all know what they are: the biscuits, the chocolates, the crackers, the ones we love. They don't help us in menopause. We're not saying don't eat them, but reduce them significantly, and perhaps only eat them on occasions just to satisfy that craving or to scratch that itch. Fiber-rich carbs are better tolerated in menopause because the fiber then slows down digestion and it slows down the blood sugar spike. We talked about gut health. It helps clear excess, just to reiterate and to summarize. Your gut helps to clear excess hormones. The fiber we eat reduces bloating and constipation. I'm sure we've all heard that before when we were younger, that, if you feel constipated, eat fiber. It's still on the menu and it's still going, it's still good. Fermented food supports balance as well. Microbial diversity, as we mentioned earlier. And then there's the bit about bones and joints in menopause. So estrogen loss affects bone density, protein support strength and mobility, and then nutrients matter more now than ever to retain that bone density and to support your joints. Because when you eat the anti-inflammatory food, they help to reduce inflammation that we accumulate in our joints when we've spent some lifetime eating processed foods that causes inflammation. So it's about staying strong, not staying slim. However, when we follow and reimagine our eating habit, our lifestyle to support our menopause, some of the side effects could be weight loss. So if you're someone who wants to stay slim, when you support your menopause symptoms with food in your gut, help your gut, weight loss can be a side effect, which is good news, right? So some menopause symptoms and foods that we can eat to support those: hot flushes, stable meals, and healthy fats, as I mentioned earlier. So when you fatigue a lot, protein and minerals are really important to support that. So brain fog is fat and iron-rich food. Now with brain fog, when you eat enough fat, it reduces the sugar influx into the brain. The glucose spike causes a lot of brain fog. So if you eat to slow down the absorption of the glucose in your bloodstream, you find that your brain fog will reduce significantly. Joint pain, like I said earlier, anti-inflammatory foods. So food doesn't fix everything, but it helps a lot. And you can only try to testify to that yourself, because our bodies are our own laboratories. So everything I've said here today, some people say, oh, it's easier said than done. Just try it and see how your symptoms will play out. Yeah. So some of the foods we should reduce, I mentioned earlier, ultra processed. We all know what those are, excess sugar. So people who like their porridge with the sugar and the tea with the sugar, we need to reduce them in menopause to support our gut. Alcohol, especially if you're struggling with sleep, a good one to look at and reduce significantly is alcohol. So it's not about restriction, it's about relief, and it's about balance, and it's about control. It's about portion control. And then I don't know if you can see from behind me, I've got the menopause, African menopause plates. Basically, half the plate should be vegetables, lovely vegetables that we love. I can guarantee that everybody on here will love some of these vegetables. So eat more of that. When you're going to eat and you've laid your plate, this is a visual guide to how your plate should be in menopause for you to support your symptoms. So half the plate should be vegetables, and then a quarter should be lean protein, and another quarter should be low carbohydrates, friendly food. I will go further and make it 1/8 and increase the other stuff, just so that I can be fuller for longer and not be craving. Because when you're full, when you eat enough protein and enough fat, you find that the food noise that we get that causes us to crave all these biscuits and sweets and chocolates, they calm, they get quiet. So enough protein and enough fat. So I'll take some of the carbs out and add more fat and more protein. Some of the fats being olive oil, avocados, nuts. Macadamia nut is a good one. If you're someone like me who you want some sweetness after you finish eating, have a cup of coffee or tea with macadamia nuts to support. And how to get full as well, because somebody once told me that, oh, when I eat, I need my belly to stretch. Well, one way to do that is after eating, have a cup of tea or drink water. Have a big handful of nuts with it. You'll be full, and then you even forget your next meal. Trust me. Try it, you see. And carbohydrates are not always automatic. So some of these plates, you can even decide to, when the evening meal comes, because you're eating some carbs earlier in the day, when you're coming to eat in the evening, you can omit the carbs completely and have the carbs coming from your vegetables and those phytoestrogen foods. So the simple structure removes a lot of stress. I know when I speak to some of my ladies, they're like, oh, I don't want to be guided. I don't want food to become a chore. But for some people, and for someone like me, when I have the guide, I go by the guide. It takes away all the stress of, oh, what should I put on my plate? What should I eat? And all of that. So it's really good to follow. And then when you eat as well, listen to your body and see how it responds to the food you eat, so that you know that, should I repeat this food again quickly or not? It helps. So what are we talking about? Small changes make big impact. You've got the African plate. Just try your best for your hormone. Progress over perfection. So we're not saying eat like this every day forever. When there are weddings, there are birthday parties, friends and family gatherings, feel free and eat. But make sure that on regular basis, you are supporting your hormones so that you feel better about yourself. Because consistency matters more than extreme. Can't pronounce that word. Nourishment builds confidence. When you're nourished better, you feel confident about yourself. You feel confident about your health. And someone asked me, if I change my lifestyle and I eat like this, would that make me live long? Would that stop me from getting diseases. Yes, lifestyle change and eating right, supporting your gut right, can help you to reduce your risk of developing certain diseases like type 2 diabetes, heart conditions, and things like that. Those type of diseases that are linked to lifestyle. When you eat like this, it can. And like I said earlier, weight loss could also be a side effect, a benefit, an added benefit. So small shifts done consistently can change everything. It's a game changer, trust me. So, in conclusion, menopause is not the end of your vitality. It's a transition. And with the right knowledge and the right food, it can be navigated with power, clarity, and joy. Tell me I'm wrong. We're not meant to suffer through this quietly. We're meant to support, to be supported. That is what we are here for at New Swan Food. Sorry. So at New Swan Foods and through the African Women Menopause. So New Swan Food is my company, and the African Woman Food Reset is what I do with the menopause. Sorry. So when hormones change, the answer isn't to eat less, it's to eat smarter. This is how to connect with me through my website, Instagram, and Facebook, if you want to connect. Thank you.
Thank you too for your insightful presentation. And one thing that I'm taking home is small changes make good impacts. Small changes make good impact. Right. So at this point, I will hand the program over to Dr. Akos to handle the Q&A for us. Dr. Akos, if you are there, please take over.
Hello, are we going straight into it, or do we have an advert coming up first?
Okay, let's go for a quick ad break. Producer, if you are there, let's go for a quick one ad break, and we will take all the questions. So, Mr. Producer. Please, can you unshare your screen for us? Yeah. Thank you.
So, Christica Manian, put me to wrap just for me, send Yama in a minute in Sabacandia, and then one Taptap Send.
Yeah, Ebusiafo, we didn't did an akuma patchlewa one. They recommended Taptap Send amamo. And that's how far back. Also, for baby. Now, Yabasa, our rating so yeah. Our year A1. So, Pian road to Taptap Send. That all says you can find Taptap.
You're going to do check a man, you're going to do check Gala for say. You are going to near this coffee and here. May and friend for the VR, you know, tap at the move you are. Taptap Send in this street.
The Taptap with the one.
Taptap, and one in a
Piao.
Hello, this is Lawyer Wisdom of Wismart Solicitors. Join me this and every Friday on OT TV from 8 to 9 p.m. for all your UK immigration matters. I hope to see you there. Thank you.
Right, good evening and welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you so much, Nana Kwame, for stepping in very last minute to save us, as all our hosts have unfortunately not been able to make it today. So obviously I missed you guys so much. It's been a while since I've been on. It's lovely to see you all. But thank you so much, Yayra, as well, for coming on and delivering a fantastic session. In fact, I have a lot of questions for you, but obviously I will let our audiences ask questions as well. So as we usually do it, obviously this is the the only show where you also have a doctor as your host. So you don't need to ask questions just about the topic we've spoken about today. If you've got any other health topics you'd like to ask about, I'm here and more than happy to answer your questions. But let's get on the menopause and nutrition topic because I'm really interested in that. So obviously, you can raise up your hands to ask questions, or you can ask in the chat, and we'll keep going. But I'll start off by asking a question. I have several to ask, actually. Well, I've forgotten my first one. Oh, that was it. So I had a question to ask about libido, and I'm not sure you talked about that. But can you tell us if there are any foods which help with that at all? Oh yeah, you're on mute. Let me see if I can. Yeah, there you are.
Thank you. I don't seem to find my mute button today. With the low libido, it's any serotonin supporting food helps with the libido, and estrogen, the phytoestrogens that we talked about, those helps with the libido as well. And then if you want to go further, there are estrogen creams that are topical, so they're not, you don't ingest them. So there are estrogen creams that you can use as well. But if you concentrate on eating those phytoestrogens that we talked about earlier, those helps a lot. I hope I've answered your question.
Yeah, absolutely, you have. And then I also wanted to ask, you talked about microbials and obviously how estrogen lowers that. I think I missed it actually because I was really interested in that, and the kind of how the microbials affect your the estrogen. Can you just go over that a little bit for us as well?
Yeah, so that's the estrobolome. So the gut bacteria that are responsible for metabolizing the estrogen. When estrogen drops, those bacteria dies off because there's no use for them anymore. But to replace those pathways, if you eat those phytoestrogen foods like the cowpeas, bambara beans is another one that's I didn't mention earlier. So black eyed peas, lentils, and chickpeas. Those help to mimic the functions of the estrogen and hence supports that pathway in the gut. Does that answer your question?
I think it does, because what I was thinking about was you mentioned kenke being one of the foods that are really good for that. And I was thinking, is banku one of them as well? Because obviously
banku is fermented. Because yes, banku is. And I want people to add tiger nuts flour to the banku, so they reduce the amount of kondo they use, and then replaces some with tiger nut powder, because tiger nut is meant to be a good one for sleep as well. Yeah, so yeah, but banku is on the menu because it's fermented, but portion control.
So it's two balls. Is 2 balls enough? Yeah.
Depending how big your balls are.
Okay. I've got a few more questions, but I can see that Auntie Liz has got a hand up, and then I think Nana Kwame probably has a question as well, because he always does. So we go to Auntie Liz, and then we'll come back to Nana Kwame, and then we'll go to Auntie Amma after Nana Kwame.
Sure.
Good evening, family. We've missed you too, Dr. Kos. Auntie Yayra, thank you very much. Nampacho Utichi.
It's going to be a problem. My tree translator is not here.
Hey. And then
but you try. I think Akos will help me out.
Na taga no tia no ane atajuya na wosi emfamfra bankui.
Yes.
Spectacular question.
It is, and they have the powder, tiger nut flour. So, most of the sugar starch have been taken out.
I see.
Yeah, and it's good for fiber as well. I know kondo also have some fiber, but it's not enough to slow the digestion of the glucose. So yeah.
All right. That's not my question though.
Okay.
Hey,
Hey, now
man.
this is not your session. What are you doing here?
I hear you. I hear you. Go ahead.
My question is, what are the food for anti-inflammatory, whatever? I think you mentioned some spices, but are there food that can help with anti-inflammatory?
Yes. So the anti-inflammatory foods are, if I have to put it simply, any food minus the starch.
Okay.
The carbohydrate. So if you eat enough protein and a good amount of fat, healthy fats, those will help with inflammation as well. Apart from those spices, the turmeric, ginger, and the ones that let me see, can I share screen again?
Yes, please.
If I could, I'm trying to find the.
Once you do that, I'm just going to add so they can answer it. I know that some people say obviously the avocado, and I saw that on the chart. The avocado is quite high in cholesterol, so except people of menopausal ages tend to have comorbidities and don't tend to like to trend towards eating things like that. And then obviously you talk about the protein as well. So is there can you just elaborate on that, why that might be healthy for you? And is there in any circumstances where you might avoid eating these types of foods that you're recommending today?
I think if you have high cholesterol, that would be the bad cholesterol. I don't always tell the difference between LDL and HDL.
LDL. It's the LDL, yeah.
It's the LDL. If you have that, then you have to minimize eating avocado. But generally in menopause, avocado is good, albeit again, portion control. So you don't go wild on, Yayra says I should eat avocado. So I have to eat like one big avocado with every meal. Then that is defeating the purpose. It's the same as maybe eating, I don't know, a quarter liter of palm oil just because we can. So it's about controlling the portion. And maybe even not eat avocado every day, alternate it, use other fats sources. But avocado itself is a very good fiber source that can help with the slow digestion, slow uptake of glucose. But I think generally, if there's no medical condition, then you're good with eating as, yeah. So,
well, would you advise them to be like me? Has anybody ever had the Costco avocado, which basically has 5 in the net, and I can eat all 5 in a day?
Yeah, you get away with it because of your age, right?
So when I'm hitting menopause, I think I might have to cut down.
You might have to, reduce it. So I would eat, I don't know, half of an avocado, maybe once or twice a week.
Okay.
So it's not with it's not with every meal. So some people, because avocado is high fat, that so people will stay away because it's fat. Yeah. But it's good. It's got good minerals and good.
From 5 a day to half a week.
I don't eat 5 a day.
No, I'm saying for me, I think this is a shocking moment. Okay. I need a moment. I'm gonna need a moment.
Bless you.
Are you able to share your screen?
Yeah, that's just because I love it, but you have to watch these things.
Yeah.
Be careful how you be careful how you balance them. So yeah.
Are you still sharing your screen, by the way?
Oh, I stopped, didn't I? Sorry.
That's okay. And then maybe Nana Kwame, we can start with your question while she's trying to share her screen. Oh, there she goes.
I'm trying to. So the anti-inflammatory food, that's what I'm trying to look at for. I think I've lost them somewhere. But yeah, there were turmeric, ginger.
Keep going down. Yeah,
Yeah,
keep
keep
going.
going.
I
Is
saw
it
it
here?
somewhere.
No, I think we've lost it. I'll find it. Let's keep going, and then I would look for it
Okay.
while we're talking.
All right. So my question is very simple, and
Okay.
from the talk today, I've also learned that tiger nut is not only good for the men; it's also good for women. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. That's just by the way. My question is: do you take supplements? If yes, what prompts you to start, and have you noticed any effects or changes?
Yes, so I take a couple actually. I do take vitamin D, but that is not because of menopause. I've been taking that way before I went into menopause because we all know that us Africans, we don't tend to absorb the sunlight because of our skin pigmentation. So we need more. And that is why we come from Africa, where the sun is in abundance. But over here, we don't tend to get enough sun. So I do take that to support my vitamin D. And also for my joints. So I take that with krill oil. I've had a long-term knee problem since I was a child. So I've always taken that. But as far as menopause is concerned, it's magnesium. And that one that I mentioned, inositol, sorry, which helps with metabolism, craving. It helps with cravings. Because sometimes if you get busy, I get busy and then I'm not paying attention to my food because I'm grabbing and going. I find that my symptoms get quite heightened. So that can I type it because I can't pronounce it? I don't know. Of course, do you know what I'm talking about?
Type it and tacos will
Yeah,
get.
type it, and
Okay,
yeah.
let me type it. Where's chat? I found it. So it's spelled like this. Mayo inositol. Yeah. So it's a food supplement. And it helps with craving, blood sugar control, metabolism, and it slows down digestion as well. And studies shows that just 2 milligrams a day can help a lot to improve metabolism. So those are the reason why I take those, because we have a very busy household. My son plays elite football, so we're all over the country. So there are some days that I have to join in with the McDonald's and things like that. And then I go to sleep and I can't sleep because I've been eating these things and I haven't sat at home to eat the food that I've cooked. So I had to take the magnesium just to help to calm those symptoms.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, I know. So other people might just call it inositol. Some people refer to it as, I don't tend to add the mayo. Some people would refer it to as vitamin B8, but it's essentially a carbohydrate.
Yeah.
But I know more of it from the polycystic ovarian syndrome. Well, it's no longer PCOS, it's now PMOS.
They do advise people with PCOS.
So a lot of people with PCOS now PMOS, no longer PCOS. We'll come to that in a minute, but we'll talk about that another day. But yeah, so it's a sugar that helps with regulating hormones. Yeah.
Okay. So does that answer your question?
Yes, I asked that question because I've also heard that where women health during menopause, which I'm not very sure. That's why I wanted to find out. You want to say something about that? Or we are not here to promote any product, but I
know, but I've never taken Well Woman because prior to menopause, I was dead against supplements. So I never took those, and even during pregnancies, I ate. My mom was a midwife, so we ate rather than supplements
and
all of that. So not only because I'm a nutritionist, but I never. But I found that some of these universal ones are quite weak, so you're just taking supplement for taking supplement's sake. So I try to go for targeted. Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, when you're taking supplements, always check the package because, for example, I say to me, I'm not against supplements, but as you're saying, if you know you've got low hemoglobin and you're taking a supplement, you don't want to be taking a supplement that has very low iron, but maybe has higher inositol. Whereas and if you have PCOS in the same way, you don't want to take something that's got low inositol and high iron. So it really depends on what your needs are. So always read the label.
Yeah.
All right. Dr. Kos, carry on.
Okay, so as I said, we've got I'm gonna ask my last two questions. I've got Auntie Amma and then I've got somebody in the chat. If anybody wants to ask a question, this is your time. I'm gonna give up 5 minutes for somebody to either put their hand up or write something in the chat. But if I don't have anything, then we'll go ahead and close the program. So Auntie Amma, you have 2 minutes. Thank you.
Dr. Kosade.
Time with that, so.
Make a 2 minutes.
Auntie Amma, there's a clinic be Ewo Kumasi, a friend Dr. Time Daso.
Dr. Time Dasunio. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Auntie
Yayra.
Yeah. I've got so many questions, but I'll cut down. My first question, Auntie Liz did ask, so that's okay. Okay, number one. It's good for us to, I had a bad time with menopause, even though I was eating healthier, but mine was medication induced. So yes, chemo, because when I had my first chemo, I just went into menopause. So that was, well, I had it badly. Nothing could help me. I took all the magnesium, but mine is extreme. So I don't want to compare myself with the ordinary person. But my first question is, we're talking about anti-inflammatory. We need to make sure that we don't have inflammation in, because when you look at the African community, a lot of us suffer from inflammatory diseases. Yeah. But what I want to you said something about eating kenke and banku. My favorite is banku and okra stew. I love it. I can eat it even midnight. But I was warned, and I actually know when I eat banku more, frequently, I have issues with my inflammation. So again, with menopause, there's a lot of things going on. Do you still encourage, because when you said banku and then kenke, my first question is, I'm not that sure there, because if we are trying to cut down or bring down our inflammation markers, is it advisable to eat the kenke and banku? Number one. Number two, when we talk about fruits and vegetables, at the moment there's a lot of issues, if I may say, with our fruits and vegetables. I don't know if I should say the chemicals they use to grow and other things, because when you buy carrots, few days, let's say, when you on the palm oil, and that was able to take off the, I've forgotten the word, is gone, which was on the broccoli.
Okay.
Yeah. Is it the cauliflower?
Protein, the chemical.
Yeah, because they use chemicals. Now we are encouraged to eat fruits and vegetables. But most of our fruits and vegetables are not what we think they are, especially with even our organic. So what should we do, number one? Again, you talked about vitamin D. With menopause, one thing I've noticed which helps is if you take a good source of supplement, you don't suffer that much.
Yeah.
Again, your evening primrose or your omega-3, yeah, it does help. Vitamin D with K2. With K2 does help.
Yeah.
And again, having a group of women, because that is one of the things that we are lacking as an African community. Even when we are suffering, we don't talk about it. It stays with us. So again, if Dr. Coast, my baby, you more.
What time as so?
Me pacho, me time soon, me pacho.
Can I answer your question then?
No, I know. I'm my
You got
last
more.
question. Okay, I'm going to cut it short. But my
Please.
last question, what I was saying, can we have like a group whereby we can actually refer, like Dr. Coast has got a safe space.
Yeah.
Can there be like a group for women? I mean, I've gone through this problem.
That's something I didn't touch on because of the time.
Okay, all right, thank you. Sorry.
I do, for my menopause coaching, I have a dedicated WhatsApp group that I can share the link for people to join. On there, I do post like regular coaching and educational stuff, and then people can ask questions, or people can even DM me if they don't want their questions to be public, because sometimes some questions some people are private. So yeah, I do have a WhatsApp group that people can join. If I'm allowed, of course, I can post the link.
Yeah.
On here.
I mean, why not? The whole purpose of this is to help educate our community, and also obviously to get them the help they need and the resources. So I think it's a brilliant idea.
Okay, so I'll post that on. Your other question is, should we eat kenke? I found anti-inflammatory foods, by the way. So should we eat kenke? Yes and no. And like you rightly said, those foods don't help us in menopause. So kenke, you might have to eat it. Maybe, I can't remember the last time I had kenke or banku. Albeit I do enjoy that kind of food because I make my own. I've developed, so let me do some selling here, because if I may, I've developed some superfood fufu where you can have it with the same soup and sauces that you eat your kenke and banku with, and still have that mouthfeel. Because I've soon found out that if I don't eat those things, I might give up, I might lose the plot. Because food is comforting. So I've developed some superfood fufu, which is almost zero net carb, but you won't know that you're eating something different if you pair it with your regular soup, stew, anything. So I'll put my website too on there for people who are interested. But with regards to eating our kenke and bankus, traditionally, when we're eating those, we eat a big portion, like a big bowl, with tiny protein and hardly any fats or vegetables with it. So if you want to still enjoy that on occasions and not, spike your blood sugar, that will in turn get cortisol going wild and insulin all over the place, eat a very small portion and make the protein bigger. Protein and fats should kind of take over, and with vegetables as well. So some of the vegetables could be the avocado on the side, or maybe a couple of garden egg boiled to mix into the pepper. So you can be creative about how you eat these things and still have that mouthfeel, so that you don't feel like menopause has ruined your life. Because that's how some people feel. Sometimes it's like, oh, they say don't eat it, they say don't eat that. So what do we eat? Somebody told me that I open my fridge and then I close it because I don't know what to eat, because everything in there is screaming at me, you can't eat me. So this is why some of us have taken the time to look into how we can still enjoy these things and not set our symptoms going wild. So yes, we can eat them, but with caution and smartly and occasions. So what was your other question? I think it was about supplements.
Yes, I did talk about the omega 3.
Of course, did shed a lot of light on the supplements. Being the medical doctor, I wouldn't want to say anymore to confuse it. But yeah, when you're taking supplements, you need to read the label. You need to know what you're taking, the supplement, and we shouldn't just take supplement because it's out there in social media and on the news that we should take it. See if you need it, if your body need that one. So like I said, I take this X supplements because of this issues that I got. So I'm taking them to target something. And then you mentioned about washing. I see something on social media where they drop something in the water and it removes all these things from. And then I thought to myself, oh my God, what are we eating? But again, we have to be mindful and be intentional when we're choosing our foods. So know where your food is coming from, basically, and then choose so that you're not adding any more problems on top of the problem that you are trying to resolve. So I hope that's kind of
Yeah, I think we need to be mindful of social media. Because for a very, very long time, I never used to eat a certain type of rice. I don't want to mention the name, but if I say it, you'll probably know it. But it's because there was something going around social media about how when you turn it into a ball and you bounce it on a table and it's made of plastic and all these things. Yeah. But I just recently found out that actually starchy rice, that's how starch behaves. So if you clump a bit of starch together and you bounce it, it actually bounces like a ball. So it's not that the rice is actually plastic, it's just that it's got starch in it, and it was actually one of the best rice out there. I really liked it. I really used to enjoy it. I just stopped eating it for years, and I'm back to eating it now because I thought, I can enjoy some good rice now, so that's just what I mean by in terms of be mindful of what you get on social media. Okay. Atiam, I don't want to come to you because I need to go, so unless it's really, really quick, like really quick.
So there was one question on the chat.
Yeah, I wanted to come to her, but I want to end with her. So that's why I'm saying to Auntie, if it's really quick.
You want to end with me on this?
No, not you. I want to end with the question on the chat. So I just want you to quickly go.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to finish now. But on a serious note, we need to really be very careful with what we eat. We need to be intentional when we are eating. I don't want to scare anybody, but within under 2 weeks, I've lost 3 people, 2 with pancreatic cancer, and then 1 with a bowel cancer just yesterday. So please, we need to be very intentional when we are eating. We need to be very careful. Please, let's eliminate the Maggies and all the sauces which doesn't help us, please. It's very, very important. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Auntie Amanda. We're sorry to hear that, honestly. It's never good to lose anybody. So we're really sorry to hear that. Our condolences are with you. Okay.
Thank you. You're not related to me. But
even so, when I lose patients, I feel some type of way. And I literally meet them for a few hours. So, so far as you know somebody, it's difficult. So yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Okay. So with our last question, I just want to, you can read it, but it says, how do you get rid of insomnia during menopause?
So insomnia is about sleep, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So magnesium is a big one. So support your magnesium. Eat magnesium-rich food, which are the okra, the cowpeas, the black-eyed beans, garden egg, plantain. Those are rich in magnesium. And then you can supplement them with the magnesium. Is it nitrate, of course? Magnesium. Nitrate.
Well, you've got aspartate and you've got there's several ones you can have.
Okay.
But so far as it's got magnesium in it, that's the most important.
And some of the food, tiger nut, pumpkin seeds is really good. So say if you've got magnesium, I would advise that for your evening meal, maybe a couple of hours before you sleep, have a bowl of porridge. I have a nice porridge recipe, which is not carbohydrates heavy, and it's really good. And I do that with a bit of pumpkin seeds sprinkled on it and some tiny peanuts. It's really good, and it helps to calm the nervous system, calm cortisol, and it helps with sleep really, really well. Sardines are also good. Millet is also good, but then again, millet with the starch and the carbohydrates, we have to be careful. Moringa leaves are really good as well with, managing sleep.
Yes.
Yeah. And of course, meditation, stress, management, and, mindfulness helps with it as well.
Well, that brings me, so if anybody's in the West Midlands, Coventry type area, Yayra and a few other health professionals run every Friday. What time is it again? It's 6 to 8. 6 to 8, and it's basically 2 hours. The first hour we have an exercise session, like a menopause friendly exercise session, and then the second hour we talk about menopause, different things. So we have people coming in to talk about nutrition. So Yayra usually does that. We've got doctors like myself going in to talk about symptoms of menopause and management and things, and we have other professionals coming in to talk about basically how to deal with menopause, really. So if you're in the area, just join us 6 to 8, and again I'll plug that on the group later on.
Dr. Coach, please, can I just say something about magnesium? Taking the magnesium is best to take it in the evening, not in the morning.
Yes.
Thank you, Auntie Amma.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's best to take it at night.
Okay. So just before we close, Yayra, is there anything else you'd like to round up? Just sort of.
Yes, I'm trying
Dr. Coach, one question, please. What if you work in the night and you take the magnesium during the day? Does it help?
So essentially, why do we take magnesium at night?
Because it helps with your sleep. So if you work on a night duty, it is best that you just take it in the morning.
Yeah. So that's what I was getting at. Yeah.
Yeah, prior to when you're going to sleep.
Yeah.
So if you do night shift, you have to use your night as your day. Yeah. So you eat your foods during when you're awake, and then do the night time routine for.
Having said that, if you're a regular night shift worker, then fair. But I think for somebody like me who does 4 nights and then I'll do 3 days and then I'll have a break and then I'll be back on days, I do more days than I do nights. So I'm not going to change my routine just because of that. I would keep it out. So if we're rotated, and a lot of nurses would do the same as well. But essentially we would probably do maybe, let's say, a week of nights once a month, maybe, or maybe if you're unlucky, twice a month, but you still have more day shifts than you have night shifts. If that's the case, I would say just stick it to the night time that you're taking it. So even if your night shift, just keep taking it when you take it, because there's no point in sort of changing it to morning and then night. It just gets a bit messy and confusing at that. So I don't know if that helps.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'll put the WhatsApp link in the chat, and then the new Swan website as well. Brilliant.
I'm going to add that. I'm actually putting a whole list of things that you people need to follow. So I'll add that to the bottom of that as well. And so just before you go, any sort of roundup question, tips for us, anything that you kind of want to highlight for us?
Yeah. So obviously, we've mentioned about the supplementing a lot. Always check the label and make sure that the supplement you're going to take does not interfere with your medication. And always speak to your health professionals before you decide to go on the supplement route. And always remember that you get more nutrients from your food than supplements. And there are supplements out there that are really not supplements. They're just, things that are being sold to us. And, always remember that your estrogen, when they go, you lose that gut bacteria. So concentrate on phytoestrogen. If you don't know what they are, research, go to Google. You will see what are phytoestrogen. They're really important because estrogen supports everything. It supports our heart health as well. So thank you all for listening to me, and thank you.
Just before you run away, I just wanted to ask, actually, New Swan. Can you tell us what that means and why you chose it, the name?
Right, New Swan is just new. And then Swan.
Swan.
I live on Swan Lane.
Oh, okay. I thought there was like a deep meaning to it, like
I was so lazy.
Or something.
I needed to pluck something out of thin air.
Fair enough. Do you know what? Works. I like it. Okay, brilliant. Okay, thank you so much. Nana Kwame, do you have anything to say? Any updates? Any things to look out?
Okay, so tomorrow we're going to have Consolidated Bank from Ghana talking to us about diaspora banking. And if you want to open a bank account with Consolidated Bank, you can live abroad and bank at home. If you want to invest in any financial products with Consolidated Bank, they're going to talk to us about diaspora banking and investment. So join us tomorrow. The same link, time with Taptap Send tomorrow. Yeah. Thank you.
Brilliant. And we having Ask the Lawyer on Friday. I think we...
Yeah. Ask the
Okay.
Lawyer on Friday. With Lawyer Wisdom, we are talking all about UK immigration on Friday.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you so much. And as you know, I keep posting health stuff. So anytime I'm part of a lot of health groups, so Safe Spaces are having a program this Saturday. Again, it's online. I'm going to post that on there. But just watch the space. If you want to follow the OT Media WhatsApp page, I've put it as part of my links. Please do, because that's where we put a lot of our events as well. So all our health events and all these investment and, you know, going back to Ghana, investing and banking and even buying a house in Ghana. We put a lot of information on there, and there's no spam because only admins can talk. So don't worry, you're safe. But aside that, thank you all for joining. Thank you so much, Yayra, once again. We'd like to have you come back at some point, so we'll get in touch. But thank you all, faithful watchers, for being here each and every Wednesday and for keeping the show going. We really love you all. Thanks. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night, all. Thank you.
Auntie Liz, I've missed you.
Me too.
I've missed everybody. Nana family, Dr. Coach, everybody.
See you tomorrow, sis.
Miss you, Auntie Amma.
Alright.
Miss you, Auntie Liz. Everybody.
Miss
Good
you all.
night.
So sika money and put me do rap just for me send ya my in a minute in Sabakandria and then one tap send.
Yeah, ebusiafo. Bidin di na nakuma pachirewa 1. They recommended Taptap Send amamo. And that's how for ba. O send ko fa baby a. Na ye basa. Omo rating so ye. Omo ye A1. Nti obian load do Taptap Send. Na on say sika for Taptap.
yɛbɔ de wɔkyerɛ amansan yɛbɔ de wɔkyerɛ Ghana for say yɛwɔ akwantu ne yɛde sika kɔfie nie me yɛn fɛnfa baabi a yɛbɛnu yɛn ho tap ɛdɛmu fiwa tap send in this street
na tap de no ana ɛkɔ
Tap and you want to
Piao.